Okay, so it is almost that time. It is Weekend of Peace Talks, and I am T-minus 35 minutes until I can get started. So I'm actually going to be starting a little bit later. For me, I can start in 7 p.m. CST, which is an hour ahead of Cassidy. But since I'm joining her on sprints, I just figured why not do it in her time zone. So I'm actually going to be starting an hour later than I technically can. It was to start at 7 p.m. in your time zone and go until 7 p.m. Sunday in your time zone. But since I'm going to be doing sprints with Cassidy tonight anyway, I figured I would just start with her and end with her. And if you weren't aware, Peace Talks is a 48-hour readathon during Realmathon where every book that you read gets you 10 plus points, so to defend your own magic. And you can still attack others, but you will automatically get 10 positive points. So for example, I think the most you can get is 36 points, but during the Weekend of Peace Talks, it'll be 46, or you can deplete 36 and get plus 10, etc., etc. I think that's how it works. If I'm wrong, just ignore everything that I just said. My TBR for this weekend is massive. I have cleared my entire weekend. I plan to do very little other than read. I think I may go tomorrow to get some more yarn and bookshops. If I do, I'll take you guys with me. But I just plan to do pretty much nothing but read. I think I have 7 books on my TBR, only 4 of which I own physically. So I figured I would show you those really quick. I think I'm going to start with graphic novel Rat Queens just to kick me off, give me a sense of accomplishment. This was gifted to me by Carrie, and thank you so much, Carrie. I have yet to find a graphic novel that I love, but I've heard great things about this one, so I'm excited to give it a try. A couple other options that I have is A Paladin Unbound by Jeffrey Spite. This is a high fantasy, I believe, novel. And then I have Servant Mage by Kate Elliott. This one was gifted to me by my dad for my birthday. It is signed and personalized, so I hope that I love it. And then the other one that I have is His Majesty's Dragon by Naomi Novik. This one is probably the longest out of the 4 that I have to consider. It's really going to depend on whether or not the audiobook comes through for this one. I've got it on hold at my library and it says available soon. Could be any minute, but you know how libraries go. It will probably be Monday or Sunday at 10 p.m. when it comes through. But I think that that's everything. I am going to jump on sprints here in just a minute and kick this thing off. I hope that you got a chance to join, but let's go get sprinting. Okay, so we are 47 minutes into the readathon and I've already finished Rat Queens. And I am so happy to say that I finally found a graphic novel that I like. And I don't know if it's because this is the first one that I've been able to read physically or if this is just a better story, but I think I'm gonna give this 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. It has a ton of humor. I liked the art style. I liked the snarkiness, and I enjoyed the whole thing. The story was really cool. I'm excited to see where it continues. So I actually may pick up volume 2 tomorrow while I'm out because this was a great time. So I'm hoping that I've actually found a graphic novel series that I like, and I do plan to possibly pick up one other one tomorrow, Lock and Key, which is a horror fantasy graphic novel, just to see if maybe it is a physically thing for me and I just don't really like them online, or if it's just this particular novel. But either way, this was a success for Bale. So this is going to count for minus 11 points. And I'm not going to tell you who I'm attacking because I feel like that would be giving a little bit too much away. But this is going to be 11 points attacking and 10 points for Bale. So pretty successful read, I think. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to pick up next. And this current sprint is about to end. So I will touch back in with you guys once I decide what I'm reading next. But heck yeah, 1 down before the first hour is even over. Success. Hello, vlog.
Counts gonna win.
No. It's Peace Talks, Marissa. None of this.
Oh, right. Kumbaya. We all love each other.
I love it.
Stabbing each other in the back.
Yes, we are.
So rude.
Vlogs are popping through.
Okay, so I am really tired. It is quite late. It's 11:47 for me, which is not that late, but for some reason I'm exhausted tonight. So I've actually just finished my second book of Peace Talks, and that is The Fall by Ryan Cahill. This is a prequel novella to Of Blood and Fire, which is the first novel in the series. And while I enjoyed the first novel a lot, I didn't love it. It had a lot of writing issues, just prose problems and pacing issues that were not present in this novella. The novella is very, very fast paced. It is nonstop action. I liked that we got an anti-hero perspective. I was very interested in the events that we got, and I think that it explains the magic and the lore of the world significantly better than the first actual book in the series did. So I think I'm going to give this one 4.5 stars. I had a great time. I'm not sure if I would recommend reading this one before or after the first novel. I guess it just kind of depends on how much you're willing to invest to get to know the world, but just be aware that if you do start with the novella, the writing and the pacing is not quite as great in the first book, but I think it's going to get better. You can actually get this novella for free on the author's website, so that's an even bigger selling perk to me. It's super accessible, so I would highly, highly recommend it. And I need to calculate up how many points this got for us, so give me just a second and I'll be back with those. Okay, so it looks like that book actually got 34 points for bail, which is awesome. It's not the maximum amount of points, but it's pretty darn close. So I am super excited for that. I think that this readathon so far has been extremely successful, and it's only the first night. I have had 2 4.5 star books back to back, so even if the rest of the readathon doesn't go all that great, I'm considering it a resounding success. So I'm actually going to go to bed because I'm pretty tired. It's 12:30 and I want to be fresh for sprints tomorrow. So I will check in with you guys later. Okay, because I am lazy, I don't have the book that I've currently started with me, but it is Swordsman's Lament by, I think, AJ White. So it's kind of early for me. I just got off Becca's sprint and now I'm about to hop over onto Marissa's, and I think I got about 45 minutes into the audiobook before hopping off of those sprints. She started really early, so I just hopped on when I got up. But it's about 10 a.m. for me now. I am going to try to get a little bit more reading done, and then we have the Call of the Bone Ships live in a couple of hours, so I'll probably pop off then, and I'm thinking about going to the bookstore, so if I do, I will take you guys with me. So far, I am really enjoying Swordsman's Lament, but it hasn't really revved up and gotten going yet. It's short. It's only like a 6-hour audiobook, so I should be able to finish it pretty quick, maybe even before the Call of the Bone Ships live, but just wanted to check in, tell you I have started my 3rd book for Peace Talks, and I will catch back in with you guys later. All right, we are here. Let's go in and do some book shopping.
'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Don't pull right down the side, PCH country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? Or just breathing? 'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Don't pull right down the side, PCH country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? Or just breathing? Flashing red lights, driving at night, windowless ride, feeling alive. Nothing in sight, forever in flight. Follow those lines, we'll make it this time. Blurry street lights, work as a guide to memories that we're making tonight. Oh yeah, we'll make it tonight. Yeah. I'll do anything that I feel like I wanna do. I'm living life like I got nothing left to prove. No end in sight, just always staying on the move. I'll go all night if that's just what I gotta do. Life's too short to care about what you can't afford.
Okay, so really quick haul time. I was able to find 4 books. One of them they did not have, and that was Rat Queens Volume 2. I was really hoping to get that one, but sadly they did not have it in stock. But I was able to get 2 others for Peace Talks. The first one is the first volume of Lock and Key. This is a horror graphic novel that Cassidy recently read and enjoyed. It was expensive, so I hope I like it. I haven't enjoyed a whole lot of graphic novels, but enjoying Rat Queens gives me hope. So the other one that somehow I have not read yet, but think would be perfect for this weekend, is Heartstopper Volume 1 by Alice Oseman. Everybody knows what this is about. It is one of the most beloved graphic novels there ever was, I feel like, so I'm very excited to get to that one. And then I was able to pick up 2 others that I had planned to be getting, and they'll be for another vlog. The first one is 9 Lives by Peter Swanson. This is the Book Troop book club pick for this month, so I'm very excited to get to this one. And the other horror that I was able to pick up is The Resting Place by Camilla Stein. This is a translated work from the same author that wrote The Lost Village, which I loved. So I'm very excited to have picked up the second one. So yeah, these are the books that I picked up from Barnes & Noble, and I am so excited to get to them. Hopefully I love them all, and I'm really hoping to read Heartstopper and Lock and Key this weekend. Okay, so I just finished my third book for Peace Talks, and that is Swordsman's Lament by G.M. White. I don't think I told you guys what this is about. So it follows the King's Champion, who is getting older and getting a little creaky, and he is thinking about retiring, but when the prince is murdered and he is framed for it, he has to uncover who killed the prince as well as clear his own name. This is a very short novella, but I had a great time with it. I ended up giving this book 4 stars. I think my favorite parts of this were the writing style and the narrator by far. The plot is a little bit predictable, but that didn't really take away my enjoyment of this at all. I still loved reading it. I was very intrigued. I wanted to pick it back up. So if you are a fan of like Sebastian de Castell or the Blackhawks, I think you might really enjoy this. It has a similar type feel to me. Anyway, I think this is going to end up getting 23 points for Bale. I wish it had gotten a little bit more, but it didn't hit the military fantasy or the fantasy romance subgenre plot or points. So sadly, it only got 23 points, but it did count as a Cassidy fave, so we can hopefully snag her for ourselves next week. So I think, going to be moving on to a buddy read with Cassidy, and that's Paladin Unbound by Jeffrey Spite. Hopefully we love this one, and I can count it as a Cassidy fave as well. It's a pretty short audiobook, so I'm hoping to get it finished today. I would love to finish 6 books for this readathon, so I think we're off to a great start. I do have a couple of other graphic novels and things that I can include as well, but I'm gonna hop back on sprints because it's an all-day sprinting affair, and I will check in with you guys once I have read a little bit more of this. Okay, so sadly I am going to be soft DNFing Paladin Unbound. This is just not, something is not sitting right with me. It's like gibberish, and I don't know if it's me or the book, but I'm retaining nothing. And even when I'm listening to the audiobook, I'm just not following it. Like I said, I don't know if it's the writing, if it's me, if I'm not in the mood for it. I'm not really sure. So I'm going to soft DNF this. I think Cassidy is too for the remainder of Peace Talks. And I may come back to it later in the month and try it again. But for now, something is just not meshing with me. And it gets such good reviews and nobody complained about the writing style. I feel like it's just me. So for now, we're putting this one down and we'll consider coming back to it later. I think I'm going to try Lock and Key graphic novel just to kind of wake me up a little bit, give me a book to complete, and then may move on to The Servant Mage or His Majesty's Dragon. We'll see in a bit. Okay, so I decided to go ahead and read Lock and Key and managed to finish that. I ended up giving it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. It is creepy and pretty gruesome and not exactly what I was expecting, but I still had a great time with it. I'm now really interested in watching the show, even though I've heard the show isn't quite as dark as the graphic novel is, but I still enjoyed it a lot. I definitely plan to continue on with that. And then I started His Majesty's Dragon by Naomi Novik. It is a military naval fantasy set in the Neapolitan Wars in Britain. So I'm enjoying it a lot so far. I'm not very far into it, only like 7 or 8%, but I'm enjoying the writing style in the audiobook. So hopefully that will also be a good read. So far, I have managed to have all 4 stars except for the one that I soft DNF'd. So this is going great. I am hoping that I can keep this energy up. So wish me luck. I'm going to be up for a while longer. So if I get a whole lot more read, I will check back in with you guys. But for now, that's my update. Okay, so no one's surprised, but I have officially changed course again. I got about 17% of the way through His Majesty's Dragon, and then Cassidy said that she was reading it too, and that's where she was. So figured I would just pick up with her probably tomorrow. But Sahar from Basically Bookish Reads has just finished The Cavern by Alistair Hodge, I believe, and she really enjoyed it and kind of talked us all into reading it. So I have switched over to that, and it's so far giving me Into the Drowning Deeps vibe, and I loved Into the Drowning Deep, so I am actually having a great time. I'm not that far into it, maybe like 10%, but I'm loving it so far, so hopefully that vibe continues. It's creature feature and deep sea diving and caverns and exploring, and it's a great time. So I'm going to keep reading that. It is now 11:40, so who knows how much longer we're going to stay awake. Apparently we have done like a collective semi all-nighter where we're going to try to stay up just as long as we can. I've got my coffee and I'm just going to continue reading. So first of all, I just want to say this was not planned. I blacked out. I don't know what happened. I was here and I went in and I blacked out and I came out with books. So I bought more books. Let me share with you what I ended up getting. Again, this was an accident. I was browsing the shelves and window shopping, and it turned into me picking up things, and we're not going to talk about it. We're not going to talk about it. So the first thing I got was actually what I went in for, and that is Lock and Key, the second volume. I really enjoyed the first volume when I read it yesterday, so I wanted to go ahead and pick this one up. So we got that. That was intentional. That was fine. And then we were in the sci-fi section and found a couple of, good, epic, chunky sci-fi. The first one is Revelation Space by Alistair Reynolds. I had never heard of this book before, but it sounds really good. The back just says 900,000 years ago, something annihilated the Martian civilization just as it was on the verge of discovering space flight. But the Martians were destroyed for a reason, and if that reason is uncovered, the universe and reality itself could be irrevocably altered. That sounds really good. I'm wondering if it could possibly be some kind of like first contact thing. I don't know, but it sounds great. So I'm gonna give this a try. And then we were also in the sci-fi section, and I had been hearing about Megan O'Keefe for a while now, and they had the first one, and so I was like, why not just grab it? It's fine. I'm just gonna grab it. So I got Velocity Weapon. This is a swashbuckling sci-fi novel. It's a big series, and I've heard really, really good things about it. So fingers crossed that I enjoy this one as well. And then I also picked up Master of Jinn, and this is one that I read a prequel novella to and actually gave the prequel short story 4 stars, which never happens for me. I don't give short stories more than about 3 stars usually, just because there's not enough substance. But I had a great time, so I wanted to grab the full-length novella. I've had this one on my shelf or on my radar for a really long time, and it's going to count for my SSF bingo TBR, which you guys will be seeing tomorrow, I believe. So I needed to go ahead and grab this one as well. And then the last one that I got, I didn't even realize was out yet, so when I saw it, I was like, oh, that needs to come home with me. And that's The Bladed Faith by David Dalglish. I'm so excited for this book. I completely forgot that it was already out, and I can't wait to read this. So basically what we're seeing here is TBR who? I don't know her, because now I have so many more books that I just want to read this month, and I don't know what happened. So anyway, if you saw my TBR at the beginning of April and you see my wrap up at the end of April and the books don't match, you know why. It's not my fault. I blacked out. I don't know what happened. So anyway, I am sitting at Dick's Sporting Goods in the parking lot waiting on David to come out because I don't need any sporting gear. I don't run. So I'm going to wait on him to come out, and then I'm going to head home to start my sprints for Peace Talks. I cannot believe Peace Talks is almost over. I have not read as much as I wanted to, so I'm going to hopefully get Lock and Key Volume 2 done and The Cavern done. Oh, speaking of The Cavern, I might as well update you guys on that really quick. I'm enjoying it. It's a lot less Into the Drowning Deep now than it was last night when I started it. I'm having a great time with it. I think it's going to be a 3, maybe 4 stars depending on how it ends. I do wish there was a little bit more nuance to it, so more of the creepy, more of the seeing random children running around and fingers tapping behind you and footsteps walking behind you kind of stuff. I just wanted a little bit more of the creepy vibe, and I wanted a little bit more time down in the caverns, but I am having a good time. It's a great creature feature. As long as you know going in, it is pretty much a creature feature. I think you will be very pleasant. I think you will be very pleased. So I'm going to go back to listening to some more of that while I wait on David to come out, and then I will catch up with you guys in a little bit. Say hi. What's up? Koba. 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 Okay, so that is it. That is a wrap on Peace Talks. I had a great time. This was super, super successful. So really quick, let me walk you through the last 2 books that I was able to knock out. The first one is Lock and Key Volume 2. This one I didn't like quite as much as the first one, but I still enjoyed it a lot. I am very interested to try the TV show now. I've heard that it is a little bit more YA, a little less dark, but does a really good job of bringing the story to life. So definitely interested in that. I think I'm going to give this one a 3.5 star, maybe a low 4 star. I haven't quite put it through Call yet, but it did end up getting me 13 points for bail plus the extra 10 of peace talks for a total of 23 points for bail. And then the other one I was able to squeeze in really quickly during the last sprint was Heartstopper Volume 1 by Alice Oseman. This is one that I should have already read, but somehow have missed the hype train on. And I really didn't think I was going to like it because cutesy, cozy, graphic novel, just not really something that I enjoy as a typical rule. But this is really wholesome. It's really sweet. It's super fast. And I just thought it was adorable and a great time. So I think I'm probably going to give this one 4 stars. Again, I haven't quite put it through Call yet, but just my immediate gut reaction is a 4-star read. And this one got me 12 points for bail plus an extra 10 for peace talks for a total of 22 points. So I think that was a pretty successful weekend. I was able to finish 7 books in total, and I mean, I'm mind blown. That is an awesome weekend for me. I know a lot of them were graphic novels, but even still, considering I don't read a whole lot of graphic novels, that's huge for me. And all of them, except for maybe one, were 4 stars. So a resounding success. Thank you so much, Cassidy, for doing this and for setting this up. I had a great time. I hope you guys had a great time. And during the last sets of sprints, I actually reached 1K. And I'm utterly mind blown. So really quick, thank you to everyone that has subscribed and wants to take this journey with me. I appreciate you all so much. But anyway, I think that that's going to wrap up Peace Talks. I hope that you had a successful reading weekend. Let me know down in the comments what all you were able to get read and if you were able to meet all of your goals. We are continuing with Realmathon next week, so I will pick up Realmathon Week 2 vlog on, well, tomorrow or right after I finish this one. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.